Who can be the Antichrist? There's a lot of talk out there on the internet these days about Obama. I've never seen so many Christians so sure that the President of the United States, Obama, representative of that Babylon system, destroyer of human rights and Christian morals, is got to be the Antichrist. And if it's not Obama, then certainly the other most popular Christian candidate is the Pope of Rome. Well, is it even possible that either of these two men could be the Antichrist? Scripture would say no. But so let's give you a handle on that. The Antichrist, only mentioned a few times in John's epistle, is a word that means false deliverer. Christ means deliverer. This is the false deliverer for the Jews, since at the time the apostles were trying to point out that the actual deliverer, the Messiah, had come. He didn't look like what the Jews thought he was going to look like. He didn't lead the nation against their enemies and set them up as a forever kingdom like they thought he was going to, so they didn't recognize this Jesus of Nazareth as their Messiah. So because of that, they are still waiting for a Messiah. And it's been prophesied that they are in fact going to elect a false Messiah. Now this is who the Antichrist is, not the great anti-Christian force in the world. And that's the problem that mainstream Christianity seems to misunderstand about their scripture. The false deliverer of the Jews must fulfill the prophecy of Daniel. He must be the people of the prince that shall come, that will destroy the city and the sanctuary. So he must be a Jew of the line of David, that the Jewish nation, the secular nation that exists today, can declare, this is our Messiah that we have been waiting for. There is no other Antichrist in the Bible with the sense of who we're waiting for to rule this one world government and create all this havoc for the Jews. Where Christians get confused is imagining that because John says anyone who denies Jesus is the Antichrist. Yeah, what's he saying? Anyone who denies Jesus is the Messiah. The Messiah, because that's what's at issue. The Messiah had come to the Jews. The long-awaited, prophesied Messiah had finally arrived. John the Baptist recognized him. The miracles attested to it. He went and lived the scriptures that Isaiah and such foretold about. The lamb slain, the one who would not be recognized, the suffering servant, the one who would come riding into Jerusalem on the foal of a donkey. The apostles realized, okay, this is him. He satisfied all this, but the Jewish nation did not. And so John is reminding us that anyone denies that this guy is the Messiah, that's the spirit of Antichrist, false Messiah. Anti-Christian morality has been around forever. Everything that is evil is anti-Jesus. Everything that is against God in every way is anti-Jesus. But that's not the Antichrist that the Christians keep anticipating is going to show up and rule a one-world government. No, that has to be a Jew that the Jews claim is the Messiah who finally has arrived, which means he will have to come bringing them peace and safety. He will have to come as a military might that has the strength to set them up as a nation, because that's what they're waiting for, and that's why they didn't recognize Jesus when he came. Okay, so who can be the Antichrist? Well, it cannot be Obama. Obama's not Jewish. Obama doesn't descend from the line of David. No matter what Obama does to destroy Christianity or freedom or anything else, he certainly cannot qualify as the man Daniel is talking about, the people of the prince that will come, who will set up an abomination on the wing of the temple, who will make a 7-year covenant with many that results in the Jews resuming sacrifice on Temple Mount. This has to be someone of that world. Now, we get a clue from Nebuchadnezzar's image in Daniel, because Daniel clearly says it's in the time of these kings when he's describing the image, the 10-toed kingdom that grows out of the feet. That this stone that he sees cut without hands, which, is that a meteor? I don't know. I mean, what we know is man didn't make it. It's an unmade object, and nowadays we have a lot of talk about a meteor. Is that a meteor? I don't know, but what seems to be indicated by Daniel is this stone that's cut without hands falls on the feet kingdom, clearly the Muslim empire, and the 10 toes that grow out of that kingdom, clearly Muslim kings. And from one of those kings rises up a little horn that causes 3 to be uprooted. Okay, these are Muslim kings, and if you've been watching your history and studying with us the last 10 or 20 years, you know that we've been watching the Muslim kings. And in fact, 2 of the 3 have been uprooted. Libya and Iraq, something we put in a book over 20 years ago and have been since saying for 20 years. And come 2000, when they met in Sharm el-Sheikh to decide on peace or war with the Jews, and the 3 Muslim nations of Iraq, Syria, and Libya named themselves as the 3 that would not go along with the deal that was being suggested. We said, well, there you go. These 3 are naming themselves. They're the ones that have to be taken out of the way. They have to be uprooted to make way for this little kingdom, this little horn that must rise up among them. Well, now Libya and Iraq have been uprooted, and Syria is being uprooted. So you should look to that area of the world for your Antichrist, because he must be a Muslim king with Jewish blood, or a Jewish king among these Muslim kings that makes a 7-year deal that results in the Jews returning to sacrifice on the Mount. He's the one. Whoever the Jews stand up and say, this person is our Messiah, whoever qualifies for that is who you should be looking at as your Antichrist. And if you study with us, we do an online Bible study, and we watch the Middle East closely every week at brosal.org and at our YouTube channel, brosal.org. And you can study with us and get a clearer picture of that.